It was in the comments, CJ. Make more salmon
They did request
dishes.
it.
They requested salmon a lot. So this is a fun one. I haven't done a salmon rice bowl, and I really wanted one today. That's how I picked today's episode. I was at Publix, I was looking around, I saw the Bachans, I saw the rice, I saw the salmon, I said, I know what I'm doing today. Let me show you how I like to do it. This dish does not take long at all. I do want to start with my cucumber. I'm actually starting with my garnish. So I've got some cucumber. I'm going to slice that on a bias nice and thin. I didn't peel it because I like the appearance, but you do want these nice and thin. Real big chunks, they're just not going to be as delicate later, and the presentation won't be quite as elevated as where I want it. Now we're going to throw all of that into a large bowl. Now the reason we do pickling first is because we want it to take a while. We need the time, at least an hour. I'm going to start with some sesame oil. This might seem strange and weird. I'm only using the pickled ginger juice. It's going to be fantastic.
That seems strange and weird.
But it's not. It's amazing. Rice vinegar. Is that strange, CJ?
Nope.
Because it's not. Now here is super fun. Bachan's yuzu, the flavor, unbelievable, so good, and a bit of red pepper flake. That's it. That is our pickling agent, so to speak. It's not really pickled, but we are going to mix all these up and leave it in the fridge.
It's going to be loaded with flavor.
It's going to be loaded. That's it. That's
go.
what I was trying to say. Let's move on to our salmon. Now I've got 2 fillets. Let me know in the comments if you know where that one's from. 2 boneless, skinless fillets. Salmon is one of those beautiful, magical foods. I was going to say fruits.
Nope.
Magical fruit.
I hope this
More
doesn't
you
do
eat.
the same thing to those magical
No.
fruits.
Okay. All right. SPG. So we need a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, and a touch of ground ginger. Well, that's not very.
So
it's a
you're
little
compounding
clumpy.
your flavors because you got ginger juice in your quick pickle. And
Well,
now
I've
you're
got
mounting-
that pickled ginger juice. Now this is actually going to do 2 things for us. Thank you for mentioning it, CJ.
You're welcome.
So with salmon, getting a good crust is kind of key, right? You want that little bit of texture, and the ground ginger is going to give us almost like it's like, look at it when it falls. So those are red pepper flakes. You know what?
That was a spicy one.
That one's got a little red pepper flake on it. Look at the consistency, the texture. It's almost like flour. So it's going to give us a little bit of a crust, a little crunch, a little crunch. Oh, that's good. I wish you could smell what's happening with these pickles. I mean, we didn't really talk about it too much. Oh, so good, so good. Now my griddle is too hot. I was going to say go hot, but not that hot. It's screaming just a bit. I'm going to let that sit for a minute.
So we need 2 minutes.
So just hang out for a minute. You don't want to go too hot because then the salmon will be raw in the center, and I don't want that for the salmon bowl.
2 minutes?
You don't want it to be smoking. See you in 2 minutes. Now my temperature looks perfect, like it should have been. A touch of oil. The reason we don't want to go too hot, I mentioned a second ago, you don't want that crust to form on your beautiful fish.
Well, you want it, but you don't want it to burn. Oh, no.
I don't need any tongs.
Oh, no.
If you had tongs, you could use them. Now I'm going to go, CJ, can you see? So this is presentation side.
Oh, now I see it.
Okay, presentation side first. Presentation side first. Always cook presentation side first because that's where we're going to get the most connectivity with the heat. That's where we're going to get the most energy into the fish, which is going to give us the most appealing presentation, the appearance. You know what? I've got a few other things to go on the griddle while the fish is there. CJ, one of your favorites, shiitake mushrooms. I'm going to throw these down on the griddle as well. Now let's go a touch more. I want to do 2 things. I have a little bit of that sesame oil. So let's go here, just a touch. Remember, sesame oil, it's your friend, but
She's potent.
it's very potent.
She'll bite you.
Shiitake mushrooms for the win. Oh, beauty, beauty. You know, let's hit that with a bit of our SPG. If you haven't had this one yet, salt, pepper, garlic. Easy one to have all the time. Beauty. Let those cruise a bit. I've got some pre-cooked rice. Rice is very simple. Now I've got these 2 burners on, this one off, so we're just heating up the rice. I'm gonna go right down.
That's actually a really fun trick because it's done. You're just warming up.
Exactly. I do like to hit this with a touch of water. And also, I'm going to add a skosh of tamari. Now, if you've never had tamari, Ethan, I'll show you a close-up of that one. Tamari you'll find it right next to the soy, but it's gluten-free. It's not as much of a punch in the face of salty, And I don't want to add a ton here, but just a little bit of color and a little bit of flavor for my rice. Now let's toss that rice, toss the mushrooms. I guess we could, CJ, we can get to our garnish. Let's get to our garnish first. So I have some fresh corn, which we're not going to cook. Just cut that beautiful, fresh, bicolor corn off the cob. Keep it off to the side. I've also got some green onion. I like some nice thin little slices. I use the whites and the greens. The flavor is different, texture is also different, but the appearance is really what I'm after. And then we have got some avocado. Make sure your avocado is not overly ripe. We're not making guacamole here. Guacamole, you ever said it?
Guaca.
I was excited about it. Thin little slices. This is mainly for presentation again. Rice bowls in this fashion, presentation is king. So take your time, make beautiful thin little ribbon slices, and that's it. Once our fish is done, it's time to plate. CJ, it's that simple.
I love the simplicity.
Plating is extremely simple. I've got a big, beautiful bowl. I'm gonna start down at the bottom with that rice. Now this is like a lot. So this is like it's a date night, CJ, when you make this for your lovely wife.
As I do
when you make this
often.
beautiful salmon bowl for the two of you. You want a big bowl serving for two. So let's do rice, let's do corn in one section, avocado in one section. Let's throw our mushrooms in a section. Those beautiful pickles that we made with the cucumber. Essentially what we're creating is like these little quadrants of deliciousness, and then the salmon right on top. I do like to finish with a garnish of Bachan's original, just the original. You could use the yuzu because we cooked with it, or well, at least we marinated with it.
Both are really great.
They're
sweetness,
fantastic.
though.
There's
You will
four.
love lots
There's
of this.
four. If you haven't had it yet, go pick up some Bachans. Unbelievable. And the last little thing, I'm gonna do a bit of sriracha mayo and some sesame seeds. That's gorgeous. Green onions.
This looks beautiful. Kind of similar
So
to
beautiful.
my mango mojo bowl
No.
that I used some of the
No.
similar ingredients that I cooked about a month ago, and
No.
you happen to be doing now.
Okay, maybe.
Not like this. I feel bad about myself, but I'm gonna eat this. Now, if you were a rock star, I'm not calling myself a rock star, but you could go with your chopsticks. There's no shame in getting a fork. No shame. Actually, I'm gonna move to the fork. I mentioned it earlier. Look how gorgeous that fish came out. It's still succulent and juicy on the inside, but the crust, really, really great texture. You got a lot of stuff going on right now. We have the creaminess of that avocado, a little bit of heat, and you know what I want? Here's what I want to do, Ethan. Here, dude. One more bite here of salmon. I'm going extra hard on that Bachan's.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so good, so good. Have you tried all of them? I like the yuzu the best, I think. Oh, I keep going back and forth. If you haven't tried Bachan's yet, super, super fun. They're in most grocery stores. Fantastic. Oh, so good. And let's not forget this little cutie. Now, cutting it thin, like we did, will really help that pickling liquid penetrate much faster. And there's the acidity. Acidity cuts through saltiness and fat so well. The crunch from the ginger on that salmon, creaminess of avocado, fresh sweetness from the corn, rice, that's it. So I haven't even tried mushroom yet. If you don't like mushrooms, skip them. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope you love that one as much as I do. I say that a lot, but I really do. I mean it. I hope you make this, and I hope you love it as much as I do. It's so good. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below. Leave us a comment if you'd like to see more of this. For everyone else that left comments earlier about more salmon dishes, there you go. I have mussels on the mind and clams, so there's some other fun stuff coming. Again, leave us a comment of what you want to see in the future. I do it, Ethan, every episode.
Every
episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out all of the other shows on the network, all the platforms, all the fun stuff. This is Cook, Eat, Repeat, where we like to help you become a better cook one recipe at a time. I'm your host, Chef Nathan Lippy, and I'll see you all in the next episode. First corn's good.